So this has been something that's been kind of sitting in the background that I recorded all the footage for and hadn't started actually getting into it yet. But with the Star Fox remake, Star Fox 64 remake, announced not too long ago at the point that I'm recording this voiceover for it at least. I thought this was, the perfect time to actually finally bring this out of the the archive, so to speak. I will say,
urgent message from General Pepper.
Getting this to record
Star Fox, do you read me?
was,
We're under attack from Andross's army.
was such a pain in the butt.
We need your help immediately.
We'll take the job. Andross won't be getting his way this time.
So if you see, if you saw on the world map that there are some missions that I have already done, don't worry about those. Basically what happened when I was trying to record this is that all of the voice lines for the characters actually goes through the audio in the gamepad instead of the audio on the TV. And so when I was recording this, I originally had it as just the audio from my TV. And so when I was looking back at this first recording that I've done, you couldn't hear everyone's text boxes, and honestly, it was annoying the heck out of me, so I decided, you know what, it's I'll just redo it.
We're entering Corneria City now.
So I grabbed a cable to be able to plug into my little capture card, and so I ended up getting it all to work out, but I'm yeah, unfortunately, this took a few tries, but hey, at least we got here. But anyway, I'm honestly curious to hear your guys' thoughts on the Star Fox 64 remake. I think I'm going to keep a lot of opinions to myself right now, because despite a lot of stuff that people have been saying, I am going to 100% test it out myself. So I'm going to buy it, and then I plan to make a little review of it sometime after it comes out, as soon as I finish probably just the main story, which, I mean, if it's basically gonna be, just Star Fox 64, it shouldn't take more than, I feel like a day to finish the main story, but I also want to get some time also with trying out the multiplayer mode, because I think that's part of the big appeal, at least for me, that I thought was super nice about it, because I mean, normal Star Fox 64 had multiplayer, and then the 3DS remake had some multiplayer, but I mean, the 64 multiplayer was, had to be same screen, because I mean, came out on N64, so, and then in terms of the remake, they did I want to say they only did the DS share. They might have done them online, but gonna be honest, I did not use online on my 3DS ever. I only used the feature of basically just connecting with the device right next to yours. I'm it's crazy. It's been so long since I've done that, I can't even remember off the top of my head right now what that feature was even called. Because part of me wants to call it Game Pass, but I'm 90% sure that is not what it was called. But I'm man, it's so many DS games using that feature, and it used to be a thing with me and my siblings that we would always play some multiplayer stuff, we did Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon Scarescraper multiplayer all the time, so I'm like, man, those were some, you know, some good memories.
Look, they're running.
But
Let's go get 'em.
I feel like
Let him go, Slip.
this
We're
game,
not done here just yet.
Star Fox Zero in particular, is like very odd, just because they have a lot of, you know, emphasis on like motion controls. I feel like a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say that it's like kind of a remake
Guess you're good for something.
of 64, which I don't know, I kind of see, but also kind of don't see, because like it does share similar elements. Like, I mean, yeah, we're on Corneria. There's a lot of, I want to say, pretty much like almost all the planets are like
Some fast shooting, Fox.
are like the same, just with different, you know, layouts and stuff.
There's
But
more coming from the shoreline. Watch out!
I'm like, I enjoy this game. I feel like a lot of people weren't
Not bad.
the biggest fan of it. I think it's fun. I do think the motion controls and a lot of the camera stuff 100% like does get kind of annoying to aim at certain times. And
Not bad.
I feel like, you know, kind of like watching this back while I'm doing my little voiceover for it. It's like, it's nice, honestly, looking at it just from this screen. Because having to navigate between, you know, like the gamepad and the screen, sometimes I feel like it's just a bit annoying and like
Star Fox,
disorienting.
we are once more in your debt.
But I'm really excited
something's
for,
coming from above.
at the very least, you know, the fact that they're remaking
I'll squash you like the insects you
64,
are.
because I'm really hoping that, you know,
Target
kind of
mode
what the
engaged.
plan is
Let's
for
take down that enemy ship.
this is to, you know, kind of give a reboot, because I feel like
Enemy shield
the Star Fox
analyzed.
games, at least like the series in general,
Just like that.
like had so much potential,
Hurry! Are you just
but
trying to make me bad?
I feel like at the same time, unfortunately, there was just a lot of like
Use your motion control.
missed potential.
Behind you! Quick! Do a somersault!
I actually personally have not played the GameCube games, so I can't kind of give an opinion on how those work. I'm like, I've played 64, obviously, and I'm like, now that I think about it, I'm like, I literally have a playthrough of it on my channel, so if you want to see me play that game, that also exists, but I'm like, yeah, I played 64. And then I played one of them on the DS, but I don't remember exactly
We're heading out. All aircraft report.
which one it was. It was the one that
I'm fine.
had
You okay
all
over there,
of, like,
Fox?
the branching stories.
You did it!
Like,
that was a
literally,
close
there was
one.
like 15 endings or like 12
You're
endings,
becoming
it
more
felt like.
your father.
And the map basically worked like a mini game type system where you had to draw lines and then run into your enemies and then play like little mini games. And I remember thinking that one was very, you know, kind of like meh. I remember for whatever reason, just Slippy's weapon in particular, for some reason, was so overpowered compared to like half of the other people's weapons, which I don't understand. I honestly don't understand how that works, but honestly, I don't think I understand much of how any of that game worked, if I'm being completely honest. But I know that I played that game, and I've played 64. I think I've gone back and I've messed around with some of like the original ones very briefly.
Corneria is safe thanks to you,
So
Star Fox.
I wouldn't call it, you know,
But
actually.
there's no time to relax. An enemy fleet is approaching, and we need you on the front lines.
Understood.
Sorry, I was just letting a little intro talk. But I wouldn't call me having exactly played like the original ones, because I've just kind of messed around with it for like 10 minutes, I feel like, so
Get in there and provide backup.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, you know, I played it, so...
Heads up, the enemy fleet's
I
closing
feel
in on our
like it's
position.
really just 64, including like the remake on the 3DS, and then whatever that other DS one is, and then this one. But I do very much at least like the, you know, I definitely think the formula for Star Fox is like really fun, you know, just kind of like this style where it's very much just flying through space, you know, firing at everything is a really fun style. I know that the GameCube games, you know, changed a lot of that, but I feel like at least, you know, from my personal experience, and since I haven't played the GameCube games, like, this is kind of the only, you know, style I really go. But I think it works, honestly. I think the hardest part is just, you know, figuring out how to not, you know, make that style bland.
Eyes up top.
But I feel like they do
Man, that was
a
too
lot
close.
of interesting stuff with, like, you know, the Landmaster, they have the submarine, the Aquis, and they introduced, you know, some like, vehicles in this one, too. Or at least I know that, like, he was originally supposed to be in, I think, like, what, Star Fox 2 or something like that? That got scrapped, and then they, like, reintroduced, like, the Walker that we'll end up seeing here in a second. But I'm like, there's just is a lot of creative things that I feel like you can do with the R-Wing and its adaptations and vehicles and modifications and all that. Plus, I mean, I think a lot of just these space levels, just, you know, you throw a bunch of enemies at it, throw kind of like side objectives and all these other things, and, you know, it just kind of, just works, you know. I feel like it's fun to play, for me at least, so I'm really hoping that if they're doing, you know, like a full, like, Star Fox reboot, that they can really kind of just get a team working on it that is able to really capitalize on the formula, because, you know, I think they can do a lot with it.
Walker functionality engaged.
So I think it would be just a lot of fun, but I think especially for like the Star Fox series, you know, if they're trying to literally like re-revive it, it's like, yeah, you're gonna have to.
Commander, yeah, they've broken into the ship.
They're really gonna have to, I mean,
If he wants to
pull
make
out
us
all
do,
the
then
stops.
send in the attack robots.
And like, you know, really put a lot of love and care into it.
It's the end of the line for you.
But I feel like they can make it work.
Tilt the right stick
But
down.
I mean, I guess only time will tell. But I feel like if we're talking, you know, specifically kind of refocusing back on, you know, this game, I think some of the vehicles work. I think the walker controls are very wonky on the gamepad, because I feel like it looks a lot better than it actually works. Like on this screen, it looks like it's not too bad, but I feel like it's so wonky to control, and there's some portions that literally I could just remember from my playthrough that involve the walker that are gonna cause me a lot of like retries and time losses, so I'm like, and then you have the
Commander,
I don't
yeah,
even
they've
remember.
broken into the ship.
I don't even remember
Lock him up.
the
Don't let him reach the reactor.
other like airplane like hovercraft thing that comes up later. I don't even remember exactly what that vehicle is called, but I feel like the sections kind of end up being a little bit boring, unfortunately, with those.
I'm getting some strong energy readings from in here.
So,
Blow up that energy source!
but I at least like that, you know, they tried a lot of different things for this and, you know, brought some stuff back. And overall, I still think, you know, this is a decently fun game. I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of it. And gonna be honest, there's a lot of stuff from the Wii U era that I feel like, you know, is could have used some more polish per se, but honestly, I feel like this is at least one of the enjoyable ones, you know. It's got its flaws, but I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for this game, for sure.
Close enough for you?
I also really love the
All
music.
craft, check in.
You're really coming into your own, Fox.
We took care of the rest while you were gone.
Woohoo!